you guys, it's Brit. Tonight we're here with a major update on Colleen Ballinger. This is absolutely insane, but I want to bring it to you guys. This is not going to be, as everything to do with her. This is not lighthearted. It is very serious, but it is also extremely urgent. So I hope that I can stay on track, not get too heated, and keep your all's attention for the entirety of this video. I will try to keep it short and digestible, even though it is not funny and it's not anything that should be taken lightly. But if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright, you guys, so this is not the video that I had planned on filming right now. I was actually going to go way back in time and react to Colleen being on True Life. It was an MTV series that used to run in the early 2000s into the 2010s a little bit. I'm not sure when it officially went off air, but I figured that that would be a change of pace and we could, kind of take a trip back in time to when she and Josh were boyfriend and girlfriend, kind of see their dynamic, how they operate, and how Miranda Sings came to exist essentially. However, today we're here to talk about Colleen being racist. And not only is she racist, but she is also now being shown to wear blackface. Now, instead of jumping up and down and just saying the obvious and how wrong and deplorable and disgusting this is, I actually wanted to refer to this article from the Smithsonian, and this comes from the National Museum of African American History and Culture. It is in downtown DC, and they have this article, which I will link down below, but I want to give you guys kind of a little bit of a history as far as why this is such a disgusting thing to do. Now, I want to make it very clear that for anyone that doesn't know, I am not African American. I do not have African American heritage or history in my family, but that does not mean that everybody should not be pissed off and livid that Colleen did this. Now, if and when she makes an apology, it's not going to be my apology to accept, but up until that time, I am going to scream this from the rooftops because I cannot believe that in 2018, she actually thought that this was okay to do, and why wasn't this called out? Now, I know I've been talking about her since 2020, and the issues with her vlogging her kids and oversharing and knowing how dangerous the internet is and still continuing to vlog her family as a way to rebrand what Colleen Ballinger is. And I've talked about her Miranda character, I've talked about her fan base, I've talked about her live shows, I've talked about a lot of stuff. This never once came across my radar. And I feel like if people were talking about it, I probably would have come across this. I've come across a lot of her problematic content, but today is the first day that I heard that in 2018 she was wearing blackface. So essentially this starts out by going over the comedic performances of, quote, blackness by whites in exaggerated costumes and makeup. By distorting the features and culture of African Americans, including their looks, language, dance, deportment, and character, white Americans were able to codify whiteness across class and geopolitical lines as antithesis. The whole idea of a stereotype is to simplify. The first minstrel shows were performed in the 1830s New York by white performers with blackened faces. Most used burnt cork or shoe polish and tattered clothing, who imitated and mimicked enslaved Africans on southern plantations. These performances characterized blacks as lazy, ignorant, superstitious, hypersexual, and prone to thievery and cowardice. Thomas Dartmouth Rice, known as the father of minstrelsy, developed the first popularly known black character, Jim Crow, in 1830. By 1845, the popularity of minstrel had spawned an entertainment sub-industry, manufacturing songs and sheet music, makeup, costumes, as well as a ready set of stereotypes upon which to build new performances. Blackface performances grew particularly popular between the end of the Civil War and the turn of the century in the northern and midwestern cities, where regular interaction with African Americans was limited. The influence of minstrelsy and racial stereotyping on American society cannot be overstated. New media ushered minstrel performances from the stage across the radio and television airways and into theaters. Popular American actors, including Shirley Temple, Judy Garland, and Mickey Rooney, donned blackface, bridging the minstrel performance across generations and making blackface a racial parody and stereotypes a family amusement. Blackface and codifying of blackness, language, movement, deportment, and character as caricature persists through mass media and in public performances today. In addition to the increased popularity of black Halloween costumes, colleges and universities across the country continue to battle against star and professor black performances. In each instance, those facing scrutiny for blackface performances insist no malice or racial hatred was intended, which is obviously BS. Colleen is somebody who always portrayed herself as such an ally. She was an ally to any and everybody. She just seemed like she wanted to connect with everybody. She wanted to help everybody. She wanted to be a voice for people who might have needed a voice, and she wanted to she portrayed herself as if she wanted to be a good person. I saw through that early on. A lot of people kind of discovered at their own pace. But I want to say that in life, there are a few non-negotiables for me. One of the non-negotiables is being a racist. Number 2 is being homophobic. Number 3 is being transphobic. And number 4 is just being generally hateful towards, a marginalized group or a specific race. Same thing as being racist. But just to encapsulate all of those, these should be non-negotiables for every single person who has a heart and a soul. Why are we even looking at this and saying, oh, well, maybe that happened. Oh, maybe this is the reason. There's no okay reason. And even if it's not my apology to accept when people do these kinds of things, it is so painful to know that these are still happening. These situations are still happening in today's society. There's another clip with a Jason Derulo song that Rachel Ballinger recently edited out of her video in the last month, because they know that people are digging through the content. Colleen missed this one, or someone from her team did, and I'm sure that she's super pissed that now it's, being shown all over the internet. The people that were in the crowd at this show, I want to know, why were they cheering? And, a lot of people always fall back on the, oh, well, her fans are kids. They don't know. They don't know right from wrong. They don't know that what they're watching is inappropriate. They don't know. Okay. What about the parents? And secondly, the one thing that I can say when it comes to kids, you should be teaching your children that racism is wrong from a very, very young age. And these kids at the Miranda shows, they weren't 2 or 3 years old. These were older kids. They should know that this is wrong, and cheering her on while she is doing this thing that is wrong is deplorable and disgusting and should not be happening. I don't care if you're the only person in that auditorium that is not cheering. Let everyone look at you, because you are the person in that audience recognizing how disgusting Colleen Ballinger is. So I promised you guys that I was going to keep this video short and sweet, which I hope happened. And I just want to reiterate one more time. Even if I should not be personally hurt by this, I still am, because there is something just so absolutely unhinged and disgusting to me that she could come up on stage, sing a Beyoncé song. Nobody has any issue with singing a Beyoncé song. Who told you that it was a good idea to put blackface on and sing your Beyoncé song? And it almost looked like in the video she was wearing a diaper. I don't know what her costume was all about, but super, super strange. Very, very odd behavior. There are more people coming out against Colleen, saying that they were in her live shows and they were called up on stage. There's a guy, I'll share his story at the very end, just as a little clip, but I think that she's going to come back from this because she just has so many fans that are just like, oh, people are just hating, even though they're supporting somebody now who is wearing blackface and is openly racist. They'll still call people haters. Doesn't matter what comes out about her. Everyone's a hater trying to cancel Colleen. I hope now that this has come out with her wearing blackface, I really hope that people that were, for whatever weird, crazy reason, they were on the fence and doubting what was actually happening, I hope they see this and they feel disgusted by even thinking about supporting somebody like her. Because as I said, there are some non-negotiables in life, and everybody should be against racism. Hating people because of their ethnicity or the color of their skin. Why are we in the year 2023 and this is still even a thing? Why are these words even coming out of my mouth? As a society, we have to do better, and when people like this are exposed for being disgusting, they need to be held accountable. And that's why I'm here to talk about it. But I think that's going to be enough for today. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
I'm just realizing that I was a Miranda Sings victim. I went to one of her shows when I was a freshman in high school. I was 15, and I was called up on stage to do a bit about what to do on a first date. And I'll play some of the video now.
What's your name?
Grant.
Grant, it's nice to meet you.
Thanks, it's inspired by yours truly.
Thank you. Oh, I'm still riding my horse! How embarrassing! Alright, so I'm going to teach you how to go on a first date. Have you ever been on a date before? Excuse me, do not interrupt our date. So you have not been on a date before?
Not like an official.
Oh, what the heck? Okay. So you want an official date right now, okay? So, we're gonna pretend to go to the movie theaters, okay? So, oh, we're here at the movies. It's so good, I love it. All right, so first thing you need to know when you go to a movie theater is they're really expensive. The most expensive things ever, especially if your date wants a snack. Those snacks are way too expensive, so I highly recommend sneaking in your own snacks.
You're so smart.
Don't you know? No hesitation at all.
Cheetos.
Very forward. You're nice and warm too, bro. Alright, so that's really romantic. Well, that's number one thing you can do on a date is share snacks, have bonding, getting closer. Alright, next thing, you want to make sure you have a really good conversation. You don't want to scare them off by talking about things really bad. But you want to get the good topics out of the way at the beginning to know if you're a good match. So for example, how many kids do you want to have?
3.
Okay, do any diseases run in your family?
Probably.
Do you mind genital warts? After you got the tough questions out of the way, then your date can decide at the end of the date if you are a good match for him and if he wants to give you a little kiss or rose. Are you kidding me? me, but I'll forgive you because you're attractive. So, that is how we go on a first date, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause.
Now looking back, I don't have any like negative feelings towards it. I was very much in on it and like loved the attention. But I would never, if I was in her position, I would never call a minor up on stage and like say and do some of the stuff that she did. Never. Again, I think I knew I was gay at the time, but I was very much closeted, so maybe that had something to do with it. But if I was straight and I was like attracted to women or like whatever, I think this would have been a really confusing situation for me. I'm glad that like in my brain then I was like confident enough to know like this is a bit, like we're just acting, we're entertaining people. But still, that is so inappropriate. I'm like trying to think like different times maybe, but like no. So weird. She even says I'm not a pedophile. Crazy.